Good Wednesday morning. This is a great text. Again, Luke is a great writer. Okay, some of the best stories come in Luke. The guy could write. I have real appreciation. My friend Junie, God rest her, Junie used to really judge good writing. She was very good. She was a librarian. She loved to go to the movies and read all the time. She used to say, she used to read to me. I'd sit on the rocking chair and she'd sit on the couch. We read 80 books together. Well, she read to me. She didn't think I could read worth a damn. We were reading Mark Twain once. She said, "Give me the book. You're butchering this thing." That's a true story. Anyway, this is a great text, and Luke is a great writer. And it's the case of the guys. I'll show it. He says, while people were listening, Jesus, he gives a parable about, okay? And he says, a nobleman went off to a distant country and to obtain the kingship for himself and then to return. He called 10 of his servants and gave them 10 gold coins, okay? And told them, engage in trade and with these until I return. Now, his fellow citizens, however, despised him and sent a delegation after him. There's two messages here. One is the servants with the gifts. The other is the rejection. Just a symbol of the church, by the way. What it is a symbol of the rejection of Christ by the Jews. Okay. So that's when you get that here. So what St. Luke is doing, remember, he's writing for Gentiles. He's taking a shot there. We would call it a cheap shot. Okay. All right. All right. See, he says, his fellow citizens, who would that be? That would be the Jews. Okay. However, despised him and sent him a delegation after him to announce, we don't want this man to be our king. See, that's what Luke is telling. He's writing to Gentiles saying, see, the Jews rejected Christ as king. We better not. That's what he's saying. Okay. So he returned after obtaining the kingship, and he had the servants called to whom he had given the money to learn what they had gained by the trading. And first came, your gold coin, 10 additional. Well done, good servant. Then you're faithful, and this small matter, take over big 10 cities. Then he goes down the line. But then he gets the last guy's the most important one. He said to this servant, the last one, then he said I'm sorry, I'm butchering this. Then the other servant came and said, sir, here's your gold coin. I kept it stored away in a handkerchief, for I was afraid of you, because you are a demanding man. You take what you did not lay down, and you harvest what you didn't plant. He said, with your own words, I shall condemn you, you wicked servant. You knew I was a demanding man, taking up what I didn't lay down, harvesting what I didn't plant. Why didn't you put your money in a bank? At least I'd have got some interest out of it, you see? And he said, tells his other servants, take the coin and give it to the servant who has 10. You see, everyone who has more will be given, but from the one who has not, then even what he has will be taken away. Let me just say this about that. It's a powerful story, you see. What did we do with the gifts God gave us, the gifts of life? What did we do? Do we play it safe, or do we live with courage? With boldness and courage, with the gifts God gave us? Or did we just keep our nose clean and our mouth shut? We're not called to innocence. We're called to adventure. See, these other guys invested. They invested the coins. What they did is they took a chance. They could have lost them. When you invest, there's no guarantee you're going to make money. In fact, there's a very high probability you could lose it. But you had the courage to make use of the gifts you were given and to believe in them. You see, the people of your life, the talents that you possess, doing it as Frank Sinatra sang, your way, my way. I thought of that. I think of that a lot. We're so uniquely special, each of us, that we're called by the very life we were given to live it our way. Not only mean in a raucous way or in a vulgar way, but in a adventuresome way, with a spirit of trust in the calling of God to us to live virtuously. And virtue is uniquely individual. Thank you, Aristotle, to each individual. It's not a conformity. It's a living robustly with the virtues and gifts you possess and have honed. So if you're this, you're that, like an athlete, living with great aggressiveness, okay, and confidence. Not arrogance, a confidence in the gifts you possess because you possess them. of recognition of what you are and what you've been given. Your way. Thank you, Frankie Sinatra. I really mean that too. I think in the course of how my life has evolved, choice, circumstances, I am living a dramatically different life than I'd ever dreamt 50, 60 years ago when I joined the order, 64 years ago when I joined, 63 years ago when I joined the order. I thought I would live in community and monastically, in full monastic life the rest of my life. I haven't lived monastically in 35 years. 33 years since coming back to St. Louis, okay, to chair the department. And I could have lived in our retreat house up in Normandy. But I just felt a very strong need to assert much more independence in my life and take charge of my life. And I asked permission from the order, and they granted it to me. So I've lived now what I would call a solitary life, my way, my way. The way I've chosen, the way, my way. I hope faithfully, faithful to the gospel, faithful to my passionate vocation, to the priesthood, to the academic life. My way. I teach my way. I don't conform to some superstructure in teaching. Do it my way. Yeah. And I preach my way. Same parish, I've been in this parish 51 years. My way. It's conventional? Not at all. Not at all. But I hope authentic. See? Authentically. Using the gifts that was given. And my personality and all that. Wacky as it may be at times. And I think to myself, yeah, my way. Somebody asked me once in the outfit, when you face God, what are you going to say to him? I said, I gave him my best shot, my way. My way. What I'm not going to say is I played it safe. Christ condemns this guy playing it safe. I trust Christ's benevolence. I trust Christ's love for me. Just like I trust my parents' love for me. They never told me how to be except to be honorable. Faithful to whatever I was chosen to be. Not to be a coward. Live my way. See? And I take that. As my family is faithful to me, I know Christ was faithful to me. He will love me, and he will call me to live it and act my way, faithfully, in and through the gospel. My way. I'm not an external conformist, but that's the guy without the coin, with the one coin. You're afraid to show you played it safe. God, play it safe. Play it safe, you lose safe. That's just the truth. There's nothing safe about life. Life is an adventure of grace and beauty. You've got to embrace it. You have to take a chance and live it your way. Honorably, morally, in the light of the vocation you've been called to, but with the vigor and the courage to do it your way. That's the guys who went and made 10 for 1. See? This guy was a coward. He played it safe. You know what he got in the end? Nothing. Nothing. He didn't deserve anything. He wasted his life. What a pitiful statement. Played it safe. So what? So what? Some of the best men I ever lived with in the order were men who pushed the envelope. They did it their way. That's the truth. That is the truth. I believe that. We were never called to conformity. We were called to genius. Enlightened, faith-driven genius. Fresh, robust. Yes. An adventure. What are you, the apostles? These guys following Christ, if that wasn't an adventure, what does an adventure look like? Holy moly. They had to give it all up. They had no guarantees, but they followed. They followed. St. Peter's a great example. That's the rest of us. A calling into the adventure of life. That's the truth.